What is going on YouTube? You are back with the Prez out here in Juniper Park today. Today I'm going to be bringing you a body weight only back routine, calisthenic style. You already know, guys. This is going to be a science-based bodybuilding style routine. So we're going to get a little technical with it. And I'm going to start today's routine off with a lat isolation exercise, straight arm work, which is going to almost pre-fatigue or pre-exhaust the lats before I get into my main compound lift. So even though this is still going to be considered a compound exercise, this first movement, it's going to be an isolation for your lats. It's very hard to isolate muscle groups with your body weight in calisthenics, but this is one way you can isolate the lats and really get a similar movement pattern to a straight arm pull down. And we're going to do 2 sets of this for 8 to 12 reps with about 90 seconds to 2-minute break in between. We don't want to fatigue the lats too much. We want to get a nice pump in them before we get on to the first weighted exercise. Let's go. It's not an easy movement. It's a front lever raise. So I could have went for 10, but I didn't want to, like I said, I don't want to build too much fatigue in the lats right now. I'm just looking for a nice pump, warm up, and again, this is gonna be a nice straight arm exercise, which really hits those lats, especially in the stretched position here. When we come back down on that negative, those lats are under a lot of tension, keeping that body completely straight, everything engaged. Just one more set of that, and then we're gonna get into more volume. And guys, this move can also be regressed into an easier variation. You do not have to go into a full lever position. You could actually do this in a tuck variation or even an advanced tuck where you're just bending at the knees. The main point of this movement is just to get that straight arm pulling. So the more tucked you bring your body, the easier the exercise is going to be. All right, guys, 2 sets, straight arm, front lever raises done. Like I said, that was just a pump up and bring a little fatigue into the lats. Now I'm gonna get on to some weighted pulls. You do not need to do weighted pulls. You can make these body weight, do them tempo reps. I only brought out a 30-pound kettlebell just for some added resistance. I'm gonna be doing 2-bar neutral grip pulls, again, falling in that 8 to 12, 8 to 15 rep range. Here, 3 sets, like I said, more bodybuilding style of training today, science-based. So we started with a straight arm isolation exercise. Even though, again, it's a compound movement, because we're always going to have more than one muscle group engaged when it comes to calisthenics, we were pretty much just isolating the lats by only using the shoulder joint for movement. Now we're going to get into more of a compound vertical pulling, weighted 2-bar pulls. Let's go. Ten reps, exploding up, trying to control that negative, fully getting a full stretch in the lats, not really letting the scapula disengage, keeping it slightly retracted at the bottom for full tension. Like I said, 90 seconds now, then I'll take 2-minute break between set 2 and set 3. Let's go. All right, guys, second set here. And like I mentioned after that first set, I'm keeping the breaks 90 seconds between set 1 and set 2, and then I increase it to 2 minutes between set 2 and set 3. Reason being, remember, here we are not minding if we induce fatigue into the muscles, right? We're looking for more of that hypertrophy bodybuilding response falling in that 8 to 12 rep range. So the more fatigue you induce in a given set and then take less break in between to the next set is just going to be that much harder. And you're going to see here for set 3, I ended up dropping the 30-pound kettlebell off and went into body weight reps just because, again, I wanted to make sure I hit a minimum of 8 reps with this tempo And the lats from the first 2 sets already had enough fatigue built up, where this third set is going to be tough enough and stimulating enough body weight. I could have tried to do it again with the 30 pounds, but again, I probably would have started jerking and relying more on momentum. All right, guys, third exercise in the routine. Now we're going to get into our horizontal movement. Remember, you always got to incorporate vertical and horizontal pulling and pushing for a complete workout, whether you're doing push or pull. The straight arm movement, the first exercise of the day, is going to be a little bit of a mix of both. It's going to be a little bit of a vertical and horizontal movement. Remember, that was isolation. Now we're getting into our compound. So vertical rowing, front lever pulls, band assisted. Lats are going to be extra fatigued right now. Typically I train these front lever pulls fresh and I use a lighter band. So I have my second heaviest band on there, still trying to be able to hit that 8 to 12 rep range. Let's go. Need a heavier band still. Lats are crazy fatigued. So I'll add my light band to this. If I add the heavy band, it's gonna be too much tension. So I'll add the light band to this. We'll scratch that first set as a warm up, and we'll go for 2 to 3 more good sets. All right, so I added my light red band. We scratch that first set. We'll aim for 2 good sets here, 8 to 12 reps, maybe go for 3. Let's see how we feel. And look, this is perfect proof to show how much fatigue the lats have already endured by just 2 exercises. Typically I could do these pulls with that green band if I was doing this movement fresh. But because this was third in the exercise selection, the lats were so fatigued that I had to really add an extra band. All right, so a decent 10, happy with it like I said. Regardless, I'm going into this move with a lot of fatigue built up already. So everything now is going to be less efficient than if it was done fresh. So I'm happy with the set. I'll take about 2 to 3 minute break here. Go for another one and then maybe a third. Go guys, second set. Tough 10, 2 sets only on that. 1 more exercise for our back, and then we're gonna do a burnout set at the end. Let's go. All right guys, 4th and last exercise in the back routine. You never see me do these before. Very rarely do you ever see me doing a lower back isolation exercise, but I do incorporate them from time to time. I'm just gonna show you how you can get them done in the park with minimal equipment, right? So you're gonna have to have something to anchor your feet on, because you're gonna have to be anchored so you can hang your torso over. So my park luckily has this ideal setup for it. So just watch how I'm gonna do these, guys. All right guys, you can see I'm not getting a full stretch due to the fact that the floor is in my way, right? So I can't fully hinge my body all the way down and get a full stretch in the erectors and in the back, but I can get a nice contraction every rep. And basically these are like doing shorties, right? Keeping the whole back under tension the whole time. Now, being in this locked out position up top is also gonna mimic all those isometric positions, more like those advanced calisthenic moves like back levers, planches. You're gonna need that tension, which is very similar to lockout here. All right, so I'm gonna go for 2 more sets of 10 there, not gonna film them. Now, if you were in the gym and you were on a back extension machine, you would be able to get a deeper stretch, meaning a deeper eccentric range of motion. Here, obviously I'm limited by the floor, but that's why I got that pause in that bottom position, as well as pausing in the contracted portion of the rep. The contraction is where the muscles are gonna be engaged. I'm missing out on the eccentric loading, but that's okay, because I do a ton of hinging exercises anyways throughout the week with deadlifts, good mornings, RDLs, things like that. So I get a ton of hip flexion anyway, so I don't really got to stretch anymore in that area. Really just working on isolating and flexing that lower back without having to put a heavy load in your hand like deadlifting. So 4 exercises, guys. Started with a lat isolation with those straight arm pull downs. Went into our vertical pulling, weighted pulls, 2-bar neutral grip. Horizontal rowing, we did ring rows, and then we ended right here with some lower back extensions. I'm gonna hit 2 more sets of 10, guys. Very simple but effective calisthenic back workout. Remember, if you wanna build muscle, stimulate the muscle enough where it's coming close to failure in your sets, and don't overdo it with the volume. Remember, too much volume is gonna be counterproductive, especially if you're somebody who has a hard time putting on muscle, because the more volume you do, the harder it's gonna be for you to have to recover from that session, and in order for you to grow back stronger. So keep it short, simple, and effective, and that's how you're gonna get the best bang for your buck, guys. I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate all support. Like the video, share with your friends and your family. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Peace out, guys. Bar Naturals.
They all love to talk, you know they do that shit the most. Think you on my level, boy, but you ain't even close.